you going?
What have you, so that term overload was interesting because I've never really heard of someone describing it like that. Typically people say things like burnout or whatever else. What is the, what is, I guess, the cause and or the cure for people that are feeling overloaded? Because I guarantee you like 95% plus of people listening to this now, especially in the world we live in, will be feeling some sense of relative subjective overload in their lives, including me.
Yeah, and I think we're subjected to these kind of ideals of everything, aren't we? And, you know, for parents, there's this kind of all of these images about what it means to be the ideal parent, depending on what kind of content you're consuming. And then there's these ideas of the ideal business person or the ideal author or the ideal social media, you know, whatever. And because we're subjected to so many of them, we then just overextended. We're trying to do everything perfectly and it's impossible. And then we feel terrible and we feel like we're failing or we're at fault, rather than the culture that says you can be anything you want to be. You know, actually it's okay to decide this is what I want my life to look like, and that's okay. You know, it's okay for it to be like that, and for people to have goals that are smaller than others. You know, I think it probably leads to a much more psychologically healthy outcome.
I kind of bring that back to a point that I mentioned earlier, and I'm probably just asking this for my own interest, but theoretically, you're heading in the direction of maybe having 20, 30, 40 million followers.
Yeah, I don't know.
And then the demands on your time are going to be, people are going to be offering you your own TV show, and they're going to be asking you to write 7 books on a 7-book deal, and everyone's going to want you on Loose Women and ITV's Good Morning. You know, all of these, it's going to be constant. So how are you going to navigate all of that?
Probably call you and say, Stephen, what am I going to do? Advise me. I honestly don't know. And
because that is the direction of travel you're going in, right? You're producing more and more content, which is going to grow your audience even more. Your book's a smash hit, 4 times #1 Sunday Times bestseller. You're going in that direction.
Yeah. And I guess, in all honesty, my barometer is always my family, so my children, and I will only ever do as much as I can do while I'm being the mum I want to be, I think. And I won't always get that right. And I haven't. Along the way, there have been times when I thought, no, this is too much. I need to pull back and things like that. So I think, yeah, that's my kind of center point, really, because that is, you know, where my core values lie. And that's the most important role I have as far as I'm concerned. And so I guess I will always use that as the baseline. You know, is this going to have a detrimental effect on my family or not? And what can I do within that? Yeah.
And that's kind of a values filter, I guess.
Yeah.
In many respects.